Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Sigma Sunday. I'm super excited to have you here with me today. So we're going to start with a question as usual. I want you to think for a second, do you have a resilient team? If tomorrow, God forbid, you got hit by an asteroid and you didn't show up to work, would your team be able to handle things? Or are you up at 4 a.m, answering emails, middle of the day, 10,000 fires are being put out? Which one of these sounds more like where you're at with your team? Listen, why do I ask this question and who the heck am I? My name is Rebecca Sonnenberg and I'm a licensed clinical social worker, and I also have a team of people. And let's be real, there's been times when I'm really sure we have a resilient team, and then there's other times where I'm like, oof, maybe we're not hitting the mark as much as I wish we would. So as I've learned and grown, I'm trying to do the same for you and give you some tips and some tools that I think have really helped me and maybe will help your business and your team as well. So one of the things that we do that I think is probably the most effective is about every 6 weeks, and dependent on your team, their schedules, those kind of things can be adjusted. But we do what's called brainstorming. This isn't your typical, we're going to get together and I'm going to just hash out a bunch of crap and you're going to want to kill yourself while you're in the meeting. You're going to sit there and I want you as my team to bring questions to me. So we operate with a lot of transparency. Am I going to share every nitty gritty, little detail with everybody? Probably not. A lot of it's not really necessary, and some of it I don't think anybody would care about. So I ask them, tell me what you want to know about where we're at, where we're going, concerns, questions, whatever that may look like. And every 6 weeks when we meet, everybody brings that to the table and they're allowed to ask. They're allowed to ask anything that they want, and I share with them, here's what we're doing. Here's what I think we should be doing in the next 6 months. Do you want to add to that? Do you want to be a part of it? Right? Because when you operate with transparency like that, it makes people feel at ease, makes you feel comfortable. I want you to think of bosses that you've had in the past who were secret squirrel, didn't really tell you anything. They're always just kind of running around, freaking out. That's not a good look. That doesn't make your team resilient. The question that I asked you at the beginning, if, God forbid, a meteor hit you tomorrow and you didn't exist, would your team be able to sustain? And that's hard to know. And sometimes a good way to find out is, and a fun way to find out, is for you to go on vacation. When you go on vacation, you find out very quickly what happens while you're gone. Of course, you're going to leave somebody in charge, but it also helps to recognize maybe where there's some cracks. Maybe there's some points where you need to have some sit down with your teammates and say, hey, here's what I'm noticing. The other thing that I think I'd like you to check in with, and this is something that I've really had to check in on, is are you jumping to fixing the problem and not letting the people who are asking you the questions rely on themselves and rely on what they know? So a lot of times what I try really hard to do, and trust me, I suck at this, I'm still working on it, but is when somebody comes to me and says, hey, how do I do X, Y, and Z? I'll typically ask them, tell me what you think. What have you already tried? What's worked, what hasn't worked? Because rather than just answering the question and then they forget about it because there's no buy-in, you asking them, tell me what you've tried. Tell me what's worked. Tell me what hasn't worked. That gives them an opportunity to show you if they've done anything, if they've checked on anything, Googled it, YouTubed it, whatever it is. We're in a society right now where getting the answer very quickly, very rapidly is just part of life, right? We don't have to go to the library and look through the Dewey Decimal System. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you're too young to be watching this. Go away. Just kidding. But it really is, right? We're just in a world where answers are at our fingertips. And I think a lot of times as bosses and as leaders, we assume that giving that back is what is expected. But then it also causes a lot of problems because then people don't self-rely. They don't ask themselves, what have I done? Okay. The other thing that we do here that I think is really helpful is we do a lattice system. So instead of coming to me and asking me the question, I want you to go to the next person who's at work with you, who's been here one day longer than you, and then keep going. If at some point you get to a person and you both agree on how things should be handled, you're good. Handle it, do it. You've talked to somebody about it. You both have agreed about it. Move on. Don't involve me. If you've asked every single person who works here, or maybe you're a smaller team and there's only 1 or 2 people to ask and you guys still can't agree and you're still not sure, then yeah, you can come to me as a supervisor. But I want you to go through each other, lean on each other, because again, if God forbid a meteor hits tomorrow and I'm not here, I want you to rely on each other as a team. So when you're thinking about that and you're thinking about the resiliency, one last thing that I want you to look at, and one last thing I want you to take into consideration is, as a leader, as a supervisor, if you're running around constantly with your head cut off like Chicken Little, the sky is falling, how likely do you think it is that your team has the faith, not only in you, but in what you're teaching them on how to handle things if you're not around? As always, and this is why being a leader and being in business can be very exhausting, is that you're constantly being looked at as the lighthouse, as the mile marker, right? If that's off, if you're not okay, if you're dysregulated, it makes it really, really hard for your team to feel like, I can trust this person, they know how to lead me, and they trust me, so I should trust me. Okay, so I want you to just kind of look at some of those things and think about, where are there some areas that as a supervisor, I'm not relying strong enough on my team. I'm up at 3 a.m. answering emails, and it's draining me, and I'm grumpy and I'm pissed and I hate everybody, which doesn't make for a good team, right? So where can you start to look at how you need to make some adjustments? Do you need to have some transparency where you can with your team? And do you need to make sure that you're moving people into leadership positions who can do the same with you to help you continue to build your team, continue to show them that they should believe in themselves, they should believe in their skills, and they should believe in each other. Because when that kind of stuff happens, if you as the boss are not there, they're still kicking. They're still rocking and rolling. You don't need to worry about that. Okay, and if those things aren't happening, these are where those check-ins need to happen. Okay, so take some time, take some stock, give yourself some kindness that if you suck at this, that's okay. I'm not perfect at it. I mean, as much as I want to pretend I am, there's lots of times where I screw this up. Okay, so I hope this helps. Take some time, look it over, and I hope that this just makes you feel like a happier, healthier boss, a happier, healthier business owner, and a happier, healthier human. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and I'll see you next week.